guys, Rick Shaw here. Still the 16th. We were down in San Jose Laguna today, getting fruit and stuff for the kids. We run out and they go through a lot of apples. And we also picked up our cousins, because my little boy's going to have his birthday tomorrow. We ran over to Santa Rosa and got him a really cool cake. And, looking forward to a nice day with him. Lost his tooth and one of his front teeth, so that's part of growing up. But just wanted to mention things. One of the viewers was asking, how was it with the children being safe? What I feel about it. We lived up in the without any kind of security in the first house we owned. My wife, it was a friend of hers, we bought it off of them. And everybody knew us real quick, so they were watching. The kids could play. I mean, even when they were out, I was usually out with them. If they were playing with their buddies around the thing, it was fine. Everybody was watching, but I kept an eye on them. I don't let them get out. My little daughter can go play with her friends, but she has to come straight back. I don't allow them to go over to our dirt area. My boy, if he wants to drive his car, pal, I got to go with you. Little Moo, I don't let him go anywhere. I'm lucky. I'm retired now, so I can hobble along behind him and keep a good eye on him. And I don't want them getting out there with, some of these growling dogs and stuff. Our dogs over there, they're not really bugging us too much, but there's like about 10 of them now, and there's a pregnant female, and you just see the one dog's humping a couple more females. So I don't know what those people want. What do they want? 50, 60 dogs running over there? They don't feed them. I never see a water bowl out for them. They come over here and drink water. Our garbage is getting all tore up. Now, and the cat's coming in here and crapping in our dirty kitchen and tearing up our garbage. I nailed the one gray one with the big balls. I saw him today. He saw me first and was doing his best to get away, but he's hobbling around right now. So one of his 9 lives is gone, I'm telling you, because I nailed him good. But he won't even come down the street now. He don't come anywhere near here. I just don't like that. We had I got a hold of the number of the people who run the new place we're moving to. Very secure there. Even more so than here. I like the security. Somebody said, "Oh, we don't see your security guards." They make passes around here all the time. They always stop and wave. They know us very well. They know our kids. They watch out for them. They know our kids by name. Most everybody in here does. So they help keep an eye as we get out and stuff too. So it's very secure. But our new place, I got a hold of them. They gave me a number down there, so I give them a call. Got them to go on. Got the one person that got their messenger number, because he eats up your not your data, but your regular load pretty quick, a phone call. So I was able to go on the messenger with the girl, and that way you can see them too, and they can see me. And she knew right off the bat who I was. Oh yes, sir. And I said, oh yeah, we got this fellow that's got his dog up. Oh yes, sir. We heard from the developer. We already took care of it. We went over and talked to him, told him he can't leave it out, and they made him clean up the 8 piles of poo. So hopefully that's not gonna be a problem over there. I don't want to start enemies over there or anything like that, but I'm just sick of this. You paid to be in a nice development, and you got dog poop. You go in the beginning of development, and there's people got dogs. There's one house got 4 or 5 of them, and they're good sized ones. They're inside. And they got somebody that goes and cleans up after them. A housemaid or one of the workers there. And they're not leaving them out to go poo everywhere. So, I don't appreciate that at all. And, I paid to be in a development, so that's the way it is. But the new development, there's only one way in and one way out. We're way at the end. That's another one where they'll call you. What I understand, this is what they're telling me. If we have a visitor or something, they will call us. The guards will call us on the phone. Is it okay to let these people in? and then you go up there to have them follow you in. They don't want people in there unless it's okayed, and then you got to bring them back out, and they'll take an ID. They're going to take an ID from somebody in the car. They got cameras there. They're taking a license plate and all that, so it's much more secure there. And I have been told by talking to the people who are building the house that they are very, very strict, and I'm fine with that. I am very fine with that. On the back fence on the way back, there's a neighborhood right there. When we go out of our place, you can drive down into that neighborhood. Looks like it was built probably in the 70s or 80s, and along that whole section there, they have it's all broken glass up on top. They pile some concrete on, and they got broken bottles sticking up all over, so nobody's going to want to climb over that. They actually have the workmen have kids from a little store over there to get their lunch at on and all that stuff. They hand them over. The kids will climb up on something and hand them stuff over, but nobody tries to climb that fence. I'm glad for the security. I want to say something else too that just was hitting my mind that you guys might not realize, but the hospitals here, when you go in the hospital, this happened every time we went into the hospital for any reason, whether it was the kids or my wife having babies and all that kind of stuff. They want one of your family or somebody being there. They call them a watcher. Like when my wife was having the babies, I was right there next to her. I got to go in for the deliveries, which was really cool. But when she went back in the room, I had a little bed right next to hers. She was on a maternity ward, and I had the bed right next to hers was mine. That was cordoned off for me. We had a little place to put all our stuff. We got to meet some nice people while we were in there. We could have got a private room, but my wife's very frugal, and me too. And it's like, what for? And we met some nice people while we were in there. And I was the watcher. And that was kind of cool. Plus, they feed you. They bring me a tray just like hers of stuff to eat. And when the kids were in there, what was really cool, we didn't get a private room. It was one with 4 beds in there, but the nurses were so cool and just so friendly, these nice girls in there, that they just put any other people who came in another room and just let us have that the whole time. And then I think the second time we were in there for something, it was a little more full, the hospital. They didn't have some of the floors finished because we were at the Southwoods one, so they put somebody in, but they had kids also, and they were real nice people. They actually didn't live too far from us. We got to know them, so it wasn't too bad. And the kids, when they were in the hospital, were pretty well mannered. We had a TV in there, plus we had books of theirs and stuff. So, but that's something that you can do here when you go in with somebody. It's not like the States. They don't let you stay. You got visiting hours, you got to come, and then you got to leave. And sometimes they only let so much people in, but they never really, they said, there's a limit to the people you can have in, but they don't really enforce it unless you're making too much noise or something like that. But we had lots of people come to visit. We'd have 10 people in there at a time, and they never really bothered us because we're not going to make a fuss. But that was just a little tidbit. It's nice to know if you guys come here and for some reason you have to have a hospital stay. It's nice to know you can do that, and you always got a watcher there. But just a couple things I was thinking of, that information, as I think of it, I try to pop it out. But we got a really cool evening. It just cooled right down after it got dark, and it does this every night. We got a slight breeze. It was kind of hot today when I was in San Jose. That was a little after noon. And then we got back here, and oh my goodness, it was about from time we got home. Here, it's always warmer here. If you go down on the last street by the river, there's always a breeze on that street. But this street, it gets a little bit, but not as much as over there. San Jose is a nice town because it's always breezy in there. It seems like it's always much hotter here. Maybe because of all the concrete and it's not as open, but that's our little town. That's always going to have a soft spot in my heart over there. Somebody was saying they didn't see any condos there, and I'm the only one that lived over there that I know of. There was one fella, and sadly it was an American guy, and he had a Filipino girlfriend knocked her up, and it's this beautiful little Kano girl. She plays in the streets. We've seen her many times. Nice little kid, but the dude just boogied, knocked her up, and just nothing, no help. We had talked to the girl one time. Now he's not helping her or nothing. He's just gone, and that's a shame when you got that. But that happens everywhere, I guess. But we do like it over there. That's a good place. There was a place that our Faye's friend is renting now that was across from where we lived. They wanted like $1 million pesos or something for it. It was a German fella married to a Filipino. He went in there and just laid this house out. I mean, absolutely fantastic. Beautiful dining room, had a couple bedrooms in it. The guy's leaving it completely furnished with the stove, the fridge, all the stuff. He's renting it for $7,000 a month, furnished, to our friend and her mother and her kids. And I'm like, I would have bought it, but there was no place to park. And if I could have found a little lot that we could have bought, hi, handsome. It's our birthday boy. Show us your teeth. He lost a tooth. But it's getting evening, almost time for bed.
Don't lose. What I gave.
I know, that's good to wrap up the microphone. Yeah. But we would have got it. It was absolutely just beautiful. They had a good water system. The dude did the electric really well. It's got the GMA water, so you don't run out, but he's got a big water tank with a filtration thing on it. Inside kitchen, dirty kitchen. Just a real nice way to go completely around the house, all fenced in. There is a place, there's a few steps you got to go down. He's down the first set of steps. And there is a place there that I think everybody in the place bought an empty lot so everybody could park their motorcycle in there. And nobody bothers anything over there. Only people, it's a dead end, so anybody walking in there lives there or visiting somebody. So there's not much thievery going on over there that I heard of. And but we would have got that, but no parking. We did live in a place out on the main drag in Carmona. We were actually renting that place. It was small, but we were renting that place for $2,500, and then our electric bill was running around between $1,000 and $1,200. And that, you can get places. Tim talks about the travel and different things, but you can find in these little towns like San Jose. Somebody said, "Oh, I really like that town. That's kind of like that's a place I would like." Yeah, you can go in there if you're here and you're married to a Filipino. You can buy it, and you can still put in both your names. But just know this: that if your Filipino ever boots you out, there's nothing you can do. I mean, they're protected here in the Philippines. Foreigners aren't allowed to own. So, but if you're solid with them, I'm not worried about it with my beautiful sweetie. So it's not a perfect thing. We do get our tiffs here and there, but I'm not going anywhere near she, so I'm not worried about it. And we're getting a beautiful new home. But you can fix these places up. I know a lot of foreigners come in here and they'll buy a little place, and one fellow just completely ripped everything down and started over, built a beautiful place. And the Filipinos do it too. Right in the back here, I think I showed that on my one walk going up to the park, where they just laid this place out. I was watching them build it. I probably should have took some camera work on that and zoomed it in so you guys could have seen that. That was very interesting. But they do a nice job. I definitely want to build another place down the road here. I did say I wanted to do it myself, and some concrete guy got on there. He's gonna build a house. Well, yeah, why not? I'll hire the workers. It's just I'll be the manager of it. I don't want to go through a development company again. The price is a lot higher. I know a fellow foreigner that came here and just happened to talk to him a little bit. I was seeing his new house, and you could see him had his workers come in, and it was getting built, and he was in there helping. And I asked him when it was all done. It was a beautiful house, bigger than the one we're in, 2-story on a nice lot. And he said the total cost with buying the land, the land his wife had. He said his wife already owned the land, so they didn't have to buy that. But he said he had $800,000 into it, and I would have to say it was twice the house of what we're buying. So I think we could build one. I want to build one here coming up. Instead of going block, I was going to go set the forms, do the footer, set the forms, and then what I was going to do was pour a course of concrete up maybe a foot, foot and a half in forms. Let that set with the rebar coming out, lay some rebar on top, then move the forms up and just keep pouring that. And then I can get my electric in some good, at least Schedule 40. You can buy that here, and I'll pipe that in. You can mount the boxes right to the form when you're pouring your concrete and get them all solid in there. And I was thinking of going like that and just building that all the way up to the roof, and then have a deck in case if we'd want a second floor down the road. But something first floor. I'm getting older. Our retirement home will be one story. But this one right now, we wanted to be in this area that we moved to. I really like the area. It's a little bit caters to foreigners a little more. There's quite a few. There's actually development not too far from us where there's a lot of Australians in there, 40% anyway. And I do want a development, a little safer for the kids. I like that instead of going out in the open. Now, if we get a place down in Mindoro, we build it. It'll be out in the open, but it'll be close to her uncle and the people she knows. Help keep an eye out, and I'm not one to just let the kids wander right now. And they're, I'm teaching them to keep their head on a swivel too. I don't want anyone to snatch them or anything like that. That'd be devastating, and that can happen anywhere in the world now with all this adrenochrome stuff we're hearing about, and these, pedophiles and all this kind of stuff. But sad thing, we're on a lockdown again. I know here's a liquor ban again, and there's a curfew, and these dang checkpoints will be popping all over, and I'm just getting fed up with this longest flu season in the history of the world. We're in the middle of our summer right now. I'm not buying this. The test that they use, it's going to find it. Just keep magnifying it until you find what you want. And I don't get this. I don't like that they're not really telling us who's getting it. Really, they just pop up with a number. I know Manila's locked down. I know Tagaytay's completely locked down now. That was just I saw this on the phone a little bit ago. My signal's real bad today. Don't know when this video will go out. But it's just, it seems like they're just going too far. My opinion on things, I won't talk of here, but we'll talk about it in the United States. But my opinion on this is they're smashing it, so their big business donors are going to put all the mom and pops out, so they can really get rich. These Amazon people and the big stores, Walmart and all that. And also another thing, these small businesses, they can buy them all up cheap because people are losing everything. They give you this pittance. $1,400. They're throwing after how many months a pittance, and if you start doing the math, somebody did the math and said that $1,400 cost you $5,700, and they're worried about all this COVID and not opening the schools, and they don't want the kids to go out and all this stuff, but yet the border's wide open now, and all these kids are coming in, and sadly. You see Vietnam War vets that are homeless, but yet they're going to give a home to these invaders. That's what I call them. I had one guy on there said he left the States and he don't even care anymore. But it's on my mind. I didn't come up with this saying. I actually heard this from a German fellow, and I've also heard it from a British guy and a Canadian. I heard this many times during my life, and they've always said, "As America goes, so goes the world." So. Yeah, that could be true, and I can see a fall coming, guys. I really can. I know I see some on there with the hopium about, Trump's really in control and all this, and I've seen some stuff where they're at a White House, and it's not even the same house as when you look with the pillars up on the top. So I don't know. It's a lot of I don't trust any of the news media, and I'm not even starting to trust a lot of the stuff I see on Facebook and all over. I put stuff out. It's interesting, but they said back in '81, the CIA guy says, when everything that they put out on the media is false. We've done our job, and you look at these people in the newscasters. I don't buy any of them. I just don't. So it's a mess. This could be, end times. I know my mother said that during World War II, a lot of people thought that. I saw a thing on there that 67 or 77% of evangelicals thinks we're in the last days, but my mom said there was a huge amount of people who thought the same thing back then. So we don't know when the time comes. No man knows. You got to watch the signs, and there sure are a lot of signs, guys. So hit the rug. Hit the rug and talk to your Creator, and he will change his mind if everybody gets on there. But very sad, when I see some things. I put some pictures on there. The one guy can't get a job, and you'll see it. You look at one of my videos on the end. I put it. Watch some of the end, even if you don't feel like watching the whole thing. Go to the end, because I'll put a few pictures in there, and you can see some of this stuff that I've found on the web, and I put it up there. But it's very sad. Somebody said, there's these simps that are all around, and these wussies and all that stuff. Well, I worked construction, and you didn't ever see them there. They didn't make it. Even the women that used to come in the job, none of them ever made it. They can't pull their weight. Me, I'm glad my wife wants to stay home and be a housewife. That's a fantastic job. I'm glad she doesn't want to go to work. I see these things that now they want a pregnant woman to fly a jet plane. What kind of nutty business is that? That's crazy. You don't put a woman in a flight suit and doing all this. Come on. It's ridiculous. When I was young, I helped out on the volunteer fire department, and I don't want some woman being a fireman to come. What if I'm asphyxiated? How's she going to drag me out of the house? I want some big. They had a thing. I remember when I was young. If you were a fireman, they were all big guys. They were big, monstrous guys, and so were the police. They were just good-sized people. Now they, it's just inclusion and blah blah. No, I don't want them being my firemen or policemen. You think about it with the policemen. If, for example, I'm 6'8". When I was younger, I weighed between 260 and 290. I got up as I got in my 30s and 40s. And if I was a cop and told some guy, "You sit down over there for a minute," they would probably listen, right? And if they didn't, I'd knock them in the head. But you get a little teeny tiny woman, and she tells them they don't respect women in the first place. They're going to harass her, and she's going to have to go, slapping leather. So it escalates things and makes it bad. I think that's a mistake. I think it's a horrible mistake. I remember when I was young, people used to be really rude to the meter maids. And then in the one area where I lived, that woman went into dispatch, and they had some dude out starting to do that. They would rotate guys through that. Nobody got cocky with them. It's just the way the world goes sometimes. But I'm getting off on a little bit of that stuff. I do still think about a lot of things in the U.S. I talk to my brother most mornings. He's off of work, and we'll chit chat. We got the messenger, and we send stuff back and forth. I got a lot of friends from the States I hear from time to time, and they tell me what's going on in their area. Plus, I got cousins, and I got their kids are starting to get to know me now. I haven't seen them since they were little, but they get on there and chit chat with me from time to time on the messenger, which I like the messenger. I think that's really cool. But I can also call there. My one older brother don't have messenger, but I'm able to call him when I have signal, and that's always nice. I do miss the family. I sure hope my boy, my son, if he can break away from his work sometime or get a vacation, I sure would love it if he would come out here once they get rid of this. I feel really bad for Tropical Tim. His wife's flight got canceled. She was supposed to be here today, and they said it was going to be the 20th, but it still got canceled. It's what's going on here right now. It's a mess, and I feel really bad about it that they're starting all this hokum over again. That reminds me of a joke. The the politician goes to the Indian reservation and he says, I'm gonna get you this and I'm gonna get you that, and the Indians were all standing there going, oh come. And a little while later, this guy says, wow, they're chanting for me, and I'm gonna get your school, and he really gets to going, and they're oh come, and they're chanting louder. Finally, he's so overwhelmed with this, he's almost in tears. And he said, boy, I'd like to tour your thing. So they take him around, and they're showing him on the reservation. And then they take him over where all the cattle are, and they're going through this cattle barn where they got the milking thing. And they said, hey, when you're walking through here, be careful you don't step on a hokum. So that's where we're at with that. So I just feel like in my country, a lot of the politicians, get them out. The president's only allowed a couple terms. They should all be, they should be rotated in and out of there. Just get them out. You get these people in there for 40, 50 years. They're doing nothing but becoming millionaires. I always laugh about they talk about seeing the Don's taxes. If he had anything wrong with his taxes, he'd be in jail and they'd shut everything down. I had a problem with my taxes one time. They shut out every account I had like that until I got a hold of them. And got it straightened out. But I had a month where I couldn't even get my work check because it was paid through straight to the bank, and they couldn't change it. So they like hurt us, and then waiting to get them, you couldn't get anybody to straighten things out. So so I'm not buying that. But if you want to start looking at somebody's taxes, I'd like to see some of these politicians that came in there and made this certain amount of money, but now they're all multi-millionaires. All of them. I don't care what side they're on. All of them are doing it. It's this. I think this thing. I wasn't too happy with the Don when he signed that first one for 2.2 up to 2.6 trillion. I wasn't happy with that at all. And now this latest one. Oh yeah, they're giving all this money to here and there, and then you hear about these teachers union. They don't want to go back, and all this stuff, and blah blah blah. Something, fire them. Reagan did it with the air traffic controls. Can them all. Get somebody in there who wants to work and do a job and teach our children. But I've been through some of the colleges. I've worked in them and stuff. And you look at these professors, they're touting the communist way. That's what they're feeding these kids, these young minds, and these kids don't know any better. And you're seeing these young men that a lot of them that just aren't being men. They're just being little simps, wussies. We used to call them sissies when I was a kid, but they were few and far between. Now I guess there's a lot of them living in their parents' basement. I saw a cartoon one time on Facebook where it shows this real old couple pushing a buggy with some young bearded kid playing on his cell phone, and they're pushing him up to the store. And there's a lot of them. They're not getting out. Me, when I was young, I wanted to get out. I wanted to get out and make my way. That's just how I want it. But now you're not seeing so much of that. So, if you look at this one guy who broke free from communists, and he talks about the plan of the communists to destroy this country, and he says we've done it already. It's too late for you guys. It was done, and he was talking about that back in the 80s and 90s. All the stuff that they were doing. Infiltrate the schools, the media, take over all this stuff, and I believe that's what's happening. Here, I wish they had some investigative reporters that would really delve into all this lockdown stuff and really take a close look. I get sick of this PCR test. The fellow who made it came right out and said it's not to be used for diagnostic. If you keep magnifying it, you're going to find whatever you want. So it's a shame, but here we are again, guys. So kids are all winding down. I'm winding down myself. We got a big day, 6th birthday for my little guy, little Mr. Toothless. His other front tooth is loose and probably will come out in the next few days. It's wiggling like the other one was. So, but that's all part of growing. I just love these little guys like you and believe, and I'm just afraid that the world that I lived in, they're not going to have the same one as what I grew up in, and that's going to be sad. But I still think I'm better off here with them. Somebody said I owe it to my kids on a comment. I owe it to my kids to take them to the States. If they decide they want to go to the States when they get older, hey, they can. Might even go with them, but not now. Not even while they're young. It would just be a waste. I just don't want to be there right now. Right now we're in what you might as well call this a blue state where we're at now. But I know some people down in Florida that I go back and forth with. Everything's opened up, but you still go to these blue states and they're locked up. I see Texas wants to secede, and that's moving forward. I think it would be really funny if all the states just seceded from the federal government and just made it go away. I keep hearing stuff that, the Biden isn't even in charge, really, but look at all the stuff that's happening. All these executive orders that aren't for the American people, guys. Just wake up. I know a lot of people that say they voted for him, and, I got some libs that'll get on there and, what's he done that you're happy about? I had some person say, well, he got rid of the oil. Well, something shutting that pipe down didn't get rid of the oil, pal. I would just get it from somewhere else. Now you got a big tanker that's got to bring it over here, and you've got trucks that got to haul it around, and trains that got to haul it around. So, and they're not going to use it. Yeah, the price is going to go up, so that'll curb it a little bit, but it's dropping the bucket. It ain't really going to make a big difference. People are still going to have to get up and go places. It's a car society in the U.S., and we're starting to find out that the wind farms and the solar just didn't work with that big storm. I do believe a lot of the countries got the HARP thing going on. They're using it against the U.S., and now China just got hit with a sandstorm in Beijing. I think they're harping the heck out of each other right now. I don't know. We're waiting for one of them EMP bursts coming up and shut your systems down. And here I go. I keep going on with it. So I'll let you guys go. Don't forget to pray for each other. Pray for your leaders, that their eyes will be open to this nonsense that's going on. And, the good Lord says, love your enemies. So, do the best you can to follow his lead. And y'all take care. This is Rick Shaw out.